Zinquer. And here we go into the crew battles, Northeast versus Canada.
Starting out with Zinquer versus megD. Now, megD was in the 2v2 with Cosolix yesterday, swapped over now into the crew battle. Seeing some floating going on. Zinquer was the first one to grab the, megD was the first one to grab the weapon. Saw a little bit of unarmed damage coming out from Zinquer. We'll see if he's able to fend off these Katars of megD with this bow. It's working pretty well so far.
It took 20 seconds for megD to press an attack button. Like, he was just trying to see how Zinquer is moving. And unfortunately, like, in the crew battle format, yeah, it's a best of 3, but essentially you're doing a best of 1 right now. Like, you only have these 3 stocks to try to figure out how your opponent is going to react to the things you do. The fact that megD is spending all his time just, like, being next to his opponent is really odd to start it off.
Getting megD really deep in the red here. Something Zinquer was able to do so well in all of his games yesterday was get an early lead. He wasn't taking people out in yellow. He wasn't necessarily doing 10,000 damage every game, but he was getting a solid lead early. And look at this, fully building up 50 damage just like that on megD's second stock. Zinquer playing even better maybe than he played yesterday. This is huge for him.
What is going on? megD was looking so confident yesterday in the 2s. He was looking so confident in the 1v1 when we had to do the tiebreaker against Boomy, one of the most established North American 1v1ers. But against Zinquer, he is like a fish out of water. Zinquer is just playing with megD right now.
All right, Zinquer actually looking kind of nasty here. Now, Zinquer is a grinder. He has like over 1,000 games in ranked. As he takes this second stock, over 1,000 ranked games this season, which is incredible when you look at everyone else around him on the leaderboard. He's number 6 on the ranked leaderboard as of last night, and you're seeing this practice come in. Almost gets the perfect spot dodge there. megD might be finding the stock here soon, but this is a big lead for Zinquer against a very strong and proven 1v1 player.
Yeah, I was talking about how yesterday Zinquer was giving his team just a slight lead. Like, he was taking out the first person, but he was red when the second person came in. Right now, megD versus Zinquer. Zinquer's looking like he'll have a good stock, or at least, or maybe even a second one when Crockie comes in. D-Light recovery, and megD is going to get 1 off of Zinquer.
Like, there's no way Zinquer doesn't take this stock pretty quickly without taking too much damage, especially if he gets a sword, but it's a bow coming in. See if you can find a D-Light recovery there. You see him floating around a little bit, maybe looking for the nairs. That's 2 nairs in a row. He's whiffed, but he hasn't taken too much damage. A third nair, a fourth nair. That seems to be his KO option. Wants to catch megD with the nair. Weapon spawn comes in, and he grabs the sword. D-Light recovery likely coming out. You see him dash dodge in. D-Light recovery almost going to do it. Not quite enough power on that one.
All right, right now megD is fighting for damage. Wants to get Zinquer into the red, so at least Crockie only has to really take out 1, but another D-Light recovery, and Crockie now has to do the job of evening it up for the team. He has to make it so that Cosolix has a decent fighting chance against Sandstorm.
Now, one thing that Crockie mentioned is his game plan was to have Zinquer fight against megD, maybe megD get the lead early on. One, that didn't happen, so the game plan is already starting off rocky. Then Crockie was hoping that he could just take out Snowy and handle him on his own because that axe was going to be troublesome for Cosolix. Crockie may not even get that chance, or if he does, he may have 1 stock going into the 3 of Snowy. So the game plan for Canada is already rough.
Yeah, things are looking real bad for Canada. Meanwhile, Zinquer looking real good on this Koji. He was definitely warmed up for the day. You were talking about how he's a grinder. Likely was doing some grinding right before Pro Series start. A sidelight into a neutral light, and Zinquer might take another stock. There it is, D-Light recovery, and Zinquer's doing real good for the Northeast.
Now, Crockie yesterday started with the Mirage like he is today, and then he swapped onto the Nash. His Mirage game was, it was looking not what I would want to see from a Mirage player. He wasn't doing too many scythe things of getting those dodge reads, getting those extended strings, finding those knockouts, finding the signatures specifically that are unique to Mirage. Then he swapped over to the Nash and did definitely better. So he's also going in here with the Mirage as the starting character. That sword is in Zinquer's hands. You know what he's able to do with that. He is on his final stock, but he has 50 damage on this stock. Ooh, nice job to get back onto the stage with gravity cancel side sig.
Yeah, I like that wake up from Crockie. Just kind of shoves Zinquer away, make sure he gets back to the stage. Nice. These pokes from Crockie are adding up damage. He doesn't want to take too much damage before coming into Snowy. Big side sig puts Zinquer off stage. Will take a little bit more than a recovery to take out Zinquer right now, but Crockie is doing a good job of not taking too much damage. Trying to finish off Zinquer, the first player for the Northeast.
Drops the D-Light Sair. Oh no, for the spear player that Crockie is, that is so brutal to see. He's now at the weapon disadvantage. One comes in as he unarmed side airs Zinquer away. It's back to the spear. Is Zinquer going to get this stock when he was almost dead to rights off of that possible D-Light Sair that ended up missing? Is he looking for the side signature or maybe just the weapon toss pickup? Goes in for the dash D-Sig. He gets the stock. Zinquer is out of the game 1 crew battle here. It's now Snowy's turn. And if Crockie wants to take out Snowy, he's going to have to find some big plays.
Zinquer's done his job, man. He put his team +1 and added damage onto Crockie. At this point, Crockie's really got to fight for this one, but Snowy with the gravity cancel side sig, and things are looking fantastic for the Northeast. Crockie's the one. You were talking about it. His job was to take out Snowy, and if he doesn't put Snowy on the last stock, then things are going to be rough for the Canadians.
Nice dodge up to get through the ground pound of Crockie in his edge guard situation. Gauntlet's coming out. See if he can get in on this spear from Crockie. All we've really seen is a weapon toss so far. Several whiff moves, but also not a lot of commitments coming out. Doesn't get the punish there in time. The side sigs from Crockie have either been getting hits and getting KOs or not getting punished.
Yeah, he's been throwing out a lot more sigs today than he did yesterday. Still putting out some good damage pretty safely, but the second he gets caught, he does take quite a bit of damage. Has Snowy in the offstage unarmed. Might see this stock if he gets the hit, but Snowy picks up the axe.
Crockie coming in over on the right side, gets back onto the stage. We aren't seeing any GC down signatures from that axe that we saw Snowy kind of doing in Celebration. Zoning away with the anti-airs, coming out with the neutral air on the axe. Has a lot of damage on a Crockie. Crockie still hasn't been able to take away this first stock from Snowy.
Ooh, missed the side air there, Snowy. It's the weapon toss. Crockie trying to go for the weapon drop. Down sig does not connect. Punish opportunity.
Oh no! What were you going for with that? That's such a risky commitment there when you're in the red, and you saw Crockie was so ready to punish that.
Well, to Snowy's credit, his team is pretty far ahead, so we can go for a little bit of a riskier play, try to maybe put some mental damage out there, make them think he'll go for those crazy plays, because all he really needs is one good hit, and Crockie's out of there.
Gauntlets in hand, you're seeing a lot of side airs coming out. Now he's disarmed as that weapon toss went all the way to the right side. Crockie's still controlling the weapons here as that spawn comes in and he grabs the scythe. That one's able to be grabbed by Snowy, has the axe, just fish for a side air. Just be an axe player and fish for a side air.
Or might not even need it, the neutral light from mid-stage almost does it.
KO off the top, unarmed recovery right in the middle of that ground pound. And here is Cosolix. Crockie wasn't able to handle Snowy like he thought he might be able to. 2 stocks to Snowy's name. It's now Axe v Axe. Next weapon spawn that comes in, going to be a Lance for Cosolix, and he's able to grab it.
It's kind of funny seeing the Canadians be like very one weapon focused, right? Crockie was very clearly going for the spear. Cosolix very clearly wanting to play this Lance. Oh, goodness. Oh.
Dude, he almost had that gimp with the D-Sig.
Yeah.
That would have been absolutely nasty. The side air from Cosolix is going to take away the second stock of Snowy.
That was a really good axe string from Snowy, too. He did the side light in there, and then opted for a jump down air, reading Cosolix go down, and then he just had pure pressure because Lance does not do great against an axe above.
Ooh, backed away from that neutral. Like, it's the immediate punish. Ooh, not enough jumps, I guess, to go for a recovery there at the top. Cosolix's first stock is coming to the end, and there it is. Now going to spawn in on his second stock. He's a little over a full stock ahead of Snowy right now. He's able to get the first weapon spawn. Snowy holding that one, maybe expecting the big read of Cosolix going off the edge. Maybe went a little bit too far with that one, in a little bit of a risky position. Cosolix was there, but didn't quite have the punish on him.
Yeah, I kind of like what Snowy did there, right? Like he did the down sig in the wrong direction, and it was just like, I'm gonna hold it and go off stage. It's gonna be a little bit safer actually against you because you're not in position to punish this. Another side light, side air, and Cosolix is taking damage that he cannot afford.
Sidelight Sair sent him far off stage. Sidelight Nair didn't quite have the positioning off of the sidelight to go for the Sair. Dodges away from that ground pound, gets through it. The side air from Cosolix. Can he take Snowy out here? Goes for the gravity cancel in light to put out a long string of active frames. Snowy's able to punish that down signature. He hesitated for a second just to make sure he was in the right spot. He knew he had some time to punish it. Gets the second stop.
Snowy looking for that extra credit now, wants to get that guaranteed dub. If he gets Cosolix into the orange or red, it'll be it, but it's still Sandstorm coming in with 3 stocks to the 1 of Cosolix. Can he do the reverse 3?
Now this is kind of the spot that Sandstorm has been in for all of the games so far. He's kind of been the cleanup crew, but he's been the cleanup crew where like he's the midnight custodian and the building closes at noon. So, like, when he comes to empty the garbage cans and dust and clean everything up for the next day, like, there's really no mess. He comes in, does 200 damage, gets, like, the final 1 or 2 stocks, and he's done.
Yeah, he's just doing what he needs to do, cleaning up that last little bit. Somebody left a sheet of paper on the floor. Cosolix, though, has Sandstorm in the off stage. Sandstorm immediately able to get back up and dodges inside the down line.
Damage definitely consistently building on Cosolix. You're seeing the down airs come out. Has the greatsword in hand. He was using the 2 waves that come out on the left and the right in the signature kit to take out a lot of stocks yesterday. Comes to the Katars. The recovery not enough. I know Qatar players out there seeing all that damage on his stock, seeing the recovery not KO, and they're wailing in pain.
But he's still got the great sword. A Dare Nair, Dare Recovery could easily do this on the Cosolix. Cosolix trying to get this stock. But there it is. Dare into Nair. Cosolix is out of there. 3 stocks left for Sandstorm, and the Northeast going to put 1 on the board.
And Zinquer did 1,000 damage. 1,007 to be exact. He's been coming out and doing so much work. Now, I'll be real with you. His efficiency is not that great, but it's still good. He's still getting a lead for his team. He's still outlasting his opponent. So like you said earlier, like he's doing his job. He's doing his job and then some.
Yeah. Going 3 for 3 is net 0. That's like, hey, you didn't let the team down. When you go positive, when you're taking 4 stocks for your 3, that's doing good for the team. That is setting your team up for success. And Zinquer, as that front man, is doing a really good job for that. There's not too much pressure in the front because it's like, hey, if I messed up, there's still 2 people behind me. It's okay. It's a team game. It's fine. But when you can set your team up like that with the 4 stocks with 1,000 damage, that's pretty nice.
And keep in mind, yesterday it was Zinquer against Zexus, which Zexus is a good player. You'll see him sometimes on stream. Compare that to today where it's Zinquer against megD. That's huge. PR 14, 1,900 in winnings, number 1 on the ranked leaderboard as of last night. Picked 2nd in the first round compared to picked last in the 2nd round. Zinquer is doing work today. Northeast recognized his talent and that eye was keen.
Yeah, they had a really good scouting agent, I gotta say. Whoever was on the Northeast who was like, yo, everybody's sleeping on these guys. Brilliant picks. On the other side, yeah, kind of to your point, megD was, I think most people would consider an arguably better pick than like Zexus. megD is arguably a stronger player, and the fact that they had the confidence to put him in the 1v1 against Boomy shows that they're really confident in his 1v1 ability, and Zinquer is playing with him like he is a bowl of mashed potatoes. Like he is just playing with his food.
You saw his stats just a second ago. They were very humble, to say the least. They were the stats of a new player who's making waves now. He had like 5 top 32s and $260 in winnings. And that's it. And that is a very humble beginning that he is continuing to show why those numbers will change very soon.
What a wake up from Zinquer as we are in the 2nd crew battle. Again, we're in best of 3 crew battles. If Canada wins this one, we'll go to another crew battle to see who wins the crew battle set. But right now, megD with the Katars is doing better here in game number 2 as he's staying even with Zinquer so far.
We're kind of seeing the same initiations, though, from megD. Playing very slow, running all the way to the left side of the stage, then floating. We haven't seen Zinquer get that sword momentum just yet as he gets deeper into the orange, but megD is definitely playing this very slowly.
I mean, it is a crew battle, right? You want to try to play this as safe as possible because you want to get every lead that you can because it just compounds the more that you can get them. Right now, he's got Zinquer in the offstage. Gonna opt to back away, let Zinquer get back up onto the stage because he wants weapon control more than he wants Zinquer on the corner.
Still continuing with that weapon dominance here. The spawn comes in, the recovery sends megD away, and it's going to be the bow for Zinquer. You already saw the sword come out, so the next weapon is the bow. With all these floating, beautiful dodge through there, and he gets the signature finish on that. What a cheeky little play there from Zinquer.
That's OG Koji. Like, when Koji first got released, I remember one of the artists being like, yo, do D-Light Ensign. You need to know this move. And Zinquer bringing it out here years after his release. megD has the opportunity to get the stock, though. D-Light recovery is all that he needs to get this one back to even, but Zinquer is adding up that damage.
megD back on the sword, really hasn't found any hits yet, does find the recovery, even though it was on like the right side edge of that, didn't steer away from it where it would have dropped, got the KO off the top, but so far Zinquer is doing what he's been doing, gets a little bit of a lead, and he's able to carry that through, giving his team a lot of room to play with.
Good dodges from megD, nice read, picks up that neutral air for a little bit of extra damage. But you're not seeing those huge strings come out from megD just yet. And you're seeing actually, yeah, a lot of respect to Zinquer's approaches. You see how far megD will back away when Zinquer is moving forward.
Ooh, that slap, that turned him red. Has weapon advantage. Zinquer not afraid to push the unarmed against megD's sword. D-Light recovery, not enough to KO off the top. Another weapon spawn comes in, and megD's able to grab it. Going to stick with the sword for the consistent KO options compared to Qatar's. Neutral air, and we're seeing back on the bow. Are we going to see a repeat of the first stock here?
Might just be a clean D-Light recovery. I don't think it'll quite knock out just yet. But you're seeing megD feel a little bit more confident, able to dash in towards Zinquer as he has him in the red, and there's a D-Light recovery to get the first lead for the Canadians.
Saw the recovery coming out. You saw the D-Light come out right after that. Neither of them hit, but Zinquer's looking for the KO option. Dash dodge. Zinquer's using that a lot today to get to the other side of his opponent safely.
Yeah, he's had some clean dodges through megD's counterattacks. Good spot dodge there. You see megD going in. There is the dribble into the recovery for Zinquer to even up that stock count.
And he grabbed that with that soft platform kind of being there to shake things up just a little bit. So he's able to grab the D-Light Dare into the recovery for the three-piece KO option. Had enough damage to where that Dare stunned for long enough for the recovery to pick up and come out. Still behind here just a little bit. Finding some damage, adding up. That turned him yellow. Finds another hit as well.
Yeah, megD is starting to build up a lead here onto Zinquer. Might be the first time we see Zinquer not take the 3 stocks off of the starting opponent. D-Light recovery, and Zinquer is out of there. In comes Snowy. megD is now doing what the Canadians had originally planned of taking out Zinquer, setting them up against Snowy so that Crockie can hopefully finish off Snowy, and Cosolix can get the straight 1v1 against Sandstorm.
We'll see when Snowy finds a hit onto megD, if megD is truly in the orange yet, with 100 to 100 plus damage on the second stock. First hit comes out from megD, backing up, floating, being very careful on how he chooses to initiate onto Snowy. He is in the orange.
He does have some health to play with. Snowy gonna hold on to that ground pound, actually going through the soft platform and try to put himself in a safer position so megD can't punish. megD is getting these slices though onto Snowy.
It's difficult for Snowy to find any hits, and that worries me once megD starts to get into the red. I don't know if Snowy's going to be able to find a side air. Does get the sidelight into the side air and the weapon toss. Edgeguard situation coming up. Goes for the ground pound. Wants to hold it. Give megD time to figure out where he's going to go, and then Snowy can punish that instead of gripping it and ripping it too early.
He just needed that one opening onto megD and just completely obliterates that stock. Now it is 6-6. Crockie coming in, has the scythe in hand, will likely be looking for a situation where he can throw this away safely and switch over to the spear. Punish, just a neutral light.
Surprised he didn't come in with the classic Crockie weapon toss. I haven't seen too many of those today. You saw him a lot yesterday. Once the game started to get away from him a little bit, he was back to relying on those classic Crockie weapon tosses. Wasn't able to turn him into too much with the scythe. It was definitely better on spear where he could throw the weapon toss and hit a falling nair on his opponent.
Yo, it's at least a safe option, and in crew battles, doing the safe thing, you can't fault him for, even if it's only 1-2 damage per weapon toss. But here comes the spear spawn. Snowy gonna steal it out away from Crockie. Crockie wants this spear for the D-Light Sair knockout tool.
Snowy definitely very angry that he wasn't able to pick up the recovery off of that because the neutral air sent Crockie through the soft platform.
You saw him try to continue it with the ground pound, though, and it even baited out a dodge from Crockie. Snowy not really able to capitalize off of it. Likely looking for the axe now for a big Sair to knock out. Or a neutral light. Not even going to put him off screen.
Good side air. Is Crockie going to do it? Is he going to execute the plan? Has a small lead here. Weapon toss is coming out. One of them actually even hits. Knocks out the recovery that possibly could have clipped into Crockie. If he got caught jumping, maybe would have been the KO option. So Crockie maintaining this lead. Weapon spot comes in, just throws out a nair on it, and there's the recovery from Snowy. He's going to now have weapon control on the stage, moving all the way to the left side, now back to the middle.
It's looking a lot closer here. The Canadians definitely made the adjustments that they needed between the last game and this one. You see Crockie even playing a little bit more with this Scythe against Snowy. Knows that Scythe historically has a good matchup into the Axe, but does Crockie's Scythe have a good matchup into the Axe? That's the question.
Do you know what time the clock starts at? Does it start at 20 minutes? I think it does.
It's a 20-minute match.
Okay, that's what I thought. We're now 8 minutes into this game. That is a pretty significant time chunk when these players both have 2 stocks left to them, and that sort of seems like what Team Canada is going for. Crockie playing very slowly. megD also was playing very slowly.
Yeah, they really want to just like, not win by attrition per se, but just get those safe hits, get that quick little tap onto the opponent, and it'll add up. The weapon toss from Snowy guarantees the knockout onto Crockie. And now Snowy only in the orange. It's going to take a little bit more work from Crockie to get this one back to even.
Weapon spawn comes in. Snowy's barely able to grab it. Another one comes in. Snowy grabs that one as well. Even throws the gauntlets away. Wants to stick to this axe. Whiffing a lot of moves here. Now he's at the weapon disadvantage against Crockie's Scythe. Crockie throws his weapon, goes for the ground pound follow-up. Another spawn comes in. They're sort of trading weapons back and forth.
Falling nair into the dare. Snowy adding up the damage. D-Light into the recovery. Crockie needs this stock off of Snowy. Starting to get a little desperate here. You're starting to see those SIGs come out.
No side SIGs from him really so far this game. No like wake up side SIG that he was using earlier. No wake up deal. Oh! Crockie, no! Oh, that hurts. That hurts to see.
Why? Why did he go for a dare? He went for the ledge cancel. He went for something other than just a Sair for the stock. And now Cosolix has to come in and try to take 5 off the northeast.
Does find the side air. Strong way to start this one. Cleaning that second stock of Snowy's up very quickly. Lance in hand, has weapon control. And he's able to grab the axe, throw it away, pick his lance back up. So definitely dominating the weapon control here. In comes the axe. Cosolix has his trusty lance.
The comfort weapon, but it is against Snowy's axe, and Snowy's axe is a chopping tool. He is able to add up so much damage with this axe so quickly. Missed the punish. All these trades are in the favor of the Northeast as Cosolix swaps lances.
Ooh, is that going to KO? I thought it might.
Not quite.
That's also one of the few signatures we've seen from Snowy so far, specifically this game! There goes the D-Sig. That's going to easily take away that second stock, throwing him out on stage. That one hit on the soft platform. Cosolix peeked up with his hurt box just a little bit too much.
Yeah, had he stayed low, the soft platform would have eaten that down sig and he would have been safe, but he peaked just high enough. And Snowy now adding up this damage onto Cosolix's second to last stock. Good movement from Snowy to avoid that weapon toss. Avoids the ground pound. Might get the turnaround here, but a good dodge from Cosolix gets him back onto the stage.
You saw Cosolix really confident in going in the edge guard situation, actually axing at Snowy, and his positioning on things were looking really good. Like, that was a really solid weapon toss that Snowy was able to get through. But that was Cosolix recognizing he has to go for some big plays like that. He has to get this stock here. Oh, and he grabs it! The turnaround recovery, charging that one up. It's now Cosolix's 2 stocks, one of which is extremely red against Sandstorm.
That's a classic Lance plays. Go for the reverse recovery, but Sandstorm with a recovery of his own, gonna put Cosolix onto his final stock here in the crew battles.
And again here, we're gonna see kind of low damage numbers from Sandstorm in the end, just because he doesn't have to do too much damage. It's coming in with a very red stock from Cosolix, so you had 1 recovery's worth of damage to take that one away. Now already in the yellow, so we've seen him do 50 plus damage coming into this one so far. Nice little side light, couldn't quite get the follow-up though. With them dancing around a little bit here. Sandstorm not able to get a grounded Cosolix, right? Like, that's what you want with the Greatsword, is a grounded opponent so you can get those big extended strings. Meanwhile, Cosolix playing a lot more aerial than he's done in the past. He's playing aerial and he's throwing out a lot of moves, some of which are whiffing, but Sandstorm hasn't really been able to punish any of the whiffs. You've seen the moves come out too, but none of them have really hit. Is Cosolix going to be able to do this? 50 damage on his final stock. If he keeps his lance pressure up, the next weapon is going to be Katar's. The unarmed finding almost as many hits as he did with the Greatsword.
Went for the read there, but Sandstorm dodged down. Thrown out. Oh, he was going for the Gimp there. You saw him go for the second side air. Really wanted to push it. If he had gotten it, that would have been real nice for the Canadians. He's going again. Goes for a neutral there, but Sandstorm goes below it. Yo, Cosolix is doing this.
He's looking really good here. Again, throwing out a lot of moves, and hardly any of them are being punished.
All right, a little nair from Sandstorm. Damage is good, though, for Sandstorm. If you can just add up enough damage, he can get Cosolix into the red when he comes onto his final stock. Nice neutral light.
Now, Sandstorm will have some safer moves here, specifically talking about the Qatar Nair, and he just falls right into it. If Cosolix gets this reverse 3, I don't think he will, but the potential is there. The way he's playing right now, it's massive. There.
But he can't eat a dare, he can't eat a recovery. Those could lead to the knockout. Cosolix adding up more and more damage onto Sandstorm. Sandstorm with 1 recovery. Cosolix is disarmed. But he picks up a lance. Can he get the reverse 3 stock and take this to a game 3 crew battle? Sandstorm.
Oh, Sandstorm's red!
Oh, this is so close. He's sweating. On the offstage, the movement, trying to bait something out. Misses a recovery, but Sandstorm hits the second one and takes the crew battles for the Northeast.
That was way closer than it should have been. Cosolix, oh my goodness. Coming into that, playing incredible, 790 damage. A super clutch situation that Cosolix played in for a really long period of time. So playing that well and that consistently over that period of time, that's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, megD set him up really well, putting out 704 damage, took the 3 stocks off of Zinquer. The first time that's happened in the North American Pro Series, the first time Zinquer fell before the starting opponent. And then Snowy actually did a really good job, 972 damage, giving his team the lead, but Cosolix brought it down.
That we saw yesterday, a little bit of a different skin, but we're seeing the same characters that we saw yesterday from both iThrowow and Pugsyxd. We'll see if iThrowow possibly changes to Taros like he did yesterday.
Yeah, and on the other side, we're seeing Santy start this one off with the Bode Bar. Last time, he started it off with the Vow, wasn't really feeling it, and then opted to switch over to the Bode Bar in a response to the opposing team.
There are going to be 2 hammers here from the double Bode Vars, one on the red, one on the blue. Both of them actually also starting with the hammer. Down light into the neutral light right on the corner.
Very
Knew he
niche.
probably couldn't pick up the D-Light Sair there because of where the D-Light picked up.
Yeah, that's a very niche hammered tech, but iThrowow at the top of the map will get the recovery onto Simba to give the Canadians the lead.
It is a very slight lead, though, because you see how healthy that Santy is right now. He's still in the orange. Meanwhile, both members of Team Canada, even though their shirts are blue, they're very red, and you see almost at the exact same time a full team wipe of Team Canada.
Yep, Santy holding down the stock advantage, but the stocks are technically desynced for the Northeast, which can lead to a lot of team combos if things go awry. Right now, Santy going to try to keep Simba alive and add up that damage, but you see the Canadians trying to just build up more, maybe looking to take out Simba from this one and just go for 2v1s.
Santy is in the red, fighting against Pugsy's axe right now. Pugsy changing targets, going down to Simba, continuing that pressure as iThrow picks up the stock. You were talking about the 2v1s. Here is the best shot for them so far in this game. They aren't really able to find too much.
Couldn't take advantage of the power play while Santy was on the respawn. Simba, though, still fairly damaged, but you're seeing kind of a repeat of what happened at the initial stocks, right? Simba, deepest red, could have gotten taken out there by that D-Light Sair if iThrow got the hit, but Simba with the neutral stick puts iThrow off stage. Lots of people in the red.
Oh, there's the ground pound from Simba after the ground pound from iThrow that came out. Santy over on the wall, dodges through the ground pound from Pugsy. Was able to react to that one in time, knew it was coming.
D-Light recovery puts Pugsy on to final stocks here. Now it's on the Canadians. They have to take Simba out and just go for the 2v1. Taking Santy out, not going to do much for them besides give them a brief power play, but you see the way Simba's playing these power plays. Goes to the edge and weaves around his opponents. Good save attempt from Santy. All right, big hit, nice recovery, follow up from iThrow. Simba's in trouble. You see him go to the outside. Knows that he has to stay alive to keep his team in this round one.
And Santy rotated over almost immediately to provide some pressure. He ended up hitting iThrow away from a possibly punishing position.
Oh, snap.
Oh, Simba, he's got to be living here because Santy is also super damaged. Pugsy and iThrow have all of a sudden turned this one around. Might be taking game one here. Simba is going to fall.
They've got some health to play with. Santy actually the most damage, and it's going to be the Canadians to take game one off of the Northeast.
That's a big game one statement, too. Knocking out Santy and Simba. You heard from Sandstorm in his video of how confident he was in Santy and Simba. I think everybody out there across the board would believe in Santy and Simba versus pretty much any team that they're likely to go up against in 2v2 throughout Pro Series. So it's a big game one statement from iThrow and Pugsy.
Yeah, I mean, that was like one of the first things we mentioned is like they picked up their twos team. Like they have an established competitive twos team that plays in seasonals. It's been playing together for years. And the fact that they have lost a game in each of their sets so far is a little telling of how strong all of these teams are in the North American Pro Series. iThrow a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, not much though. We've seen it kind of go back and forth between these two teams. Nice D-Light side air. That's going to put Pugsy over onto the edge.
iThrow trying to get that hit onto Santy. He knows how high they are. Good sword recovery from high could lead to the knockout. Simba gets launched. Lots of people in the red. D-Light recovery. Simba going to be the first one to fall. iThrow redirecting the launch. Nair wouldn't have knocked out, so iThrow was just going for extra there.
Side air from Santy. Blue team completely split because they're both so damaged. Are we going to get the full team wipe of Canada? Again, the neutral light from Santy. Since iThrow to the left, Pugsy over on the wall on the right side. They're able to maintain weapon dominance here against Team Canada, but they aren't able to find the KO in the 2v1 situation.
Yeah, this is Pugsyxd on the Finn the Human, a very low defense legend. And Pugsyxd is living the longest out of everyone so far, as Santy got taken out there by a recovery. So all the stars come out. Pugsyxd going to finally fall here. iThrowow's got to be careful. Can't get stuck between the two Northeasterners, as they have a very strong two-team combo.
Ooh, Hammer coming in. 2 scoops of raisins in the Raisin brand here.
That's what that's what you wanted?
Yeah, what else is 2 scoops?
Ice cream, like a vanilla and a chocolate.
I'm not a big ice cream fan. Okay. I'm also honestly not a diehard Raisin brand boy either.
Kellogg's get at us, but in the red is iThrowow right now. Does hit another recovery. Simba has been falling a little bit faster as the Canadian split, but Pugsyxd with a nice down air. Extra damage, the handoff to Pugsyxd, but a nair from Santy will keep him alive.
Canada still living here. Doing a fantastic job this game. Santy almost taken out. Oh no, Pugsyxd doesn't quite get the full recovery with the force stomp on the end. That would have certainly been a KO, but there's iThrowow grabbing that KO.
Great handoff, and you saw the prioritization there, right? Simba was able to fall out, but it's predominantly because iThrowow was like, I need this knockout onto Santy. The Canadians looking real nice here. 3 stocks to the 2 of the Northeast.
Pugsyxd's survivability is fantastic. You saw from all the way on the right side of the stage, that side air just barely killed after a stage bounce that takes away some of that momentum. So that shows how damaged Pugsyxd was for that to finally KO Simba. In a little bit of a dangerous situation here. Taking some pressure from iThrowow, completely split off from Santy. Both members of Team Canada. Oh, iThrowow, he's just keeping Simba away. You see the threatening D-light, and then the backup, and then the movement from the side signature of iThrowow. Reached all the way out there, got the KO. Oh no, he drops that one.
No, he was expecting the DI. He had same move, neutralites. He expected the DI, went for the NSIG read. But either way, they still get it. And that's 2 on the board for the Canadians over Santy and Simba.
And Pugsyxd, big damage, 747, like the mighty Boeing. Flying above all, landing, doing some work, back to the sky, over on the right, over on the left, taking some good damage, and just keeping it moving.
Just moving and grooving as Santy and Simba now 1 game away from getting knocked out in the 2 space and having a tiebreaker between Sandstorm and Cosolix. This would be an upset by many margins. This is the top seed of the tournament versus the second to last seed. This is seed 1 versus seed 5.
And if you looked at their individual PR, it would even be more of a stark difference from Santy and Simba going to Pugsyxd and iThrowow.
But here we are in game number 3. Santy and Simba opting for the double Val for game number 3. Lots of setup tools in this kit, but not a lot of damage. Coming in, I think, around 4 strength if they're in the proper stance.
Oh, Santy taking some punishment there. 2 hits from iThrowow and then 2 hits from Pugsyxd. 2 big hammer hits, 2 big axe hits. Not what you want to see early on in this game. Sizable lead here for Canada.
Canada doing a really good job here. You see the way that Santy and Simba are trying to sandwich, though. You see them trying to position around 1 as a weapon toss from iThrowow takes Simba out. That's both on the side.
Neutral light almost taking out Santy. You see iThrowow immediately rotate over. Doesn't quite find the side air that he wanted to get that stock. He's looking for it. Santy likely to fall very soon. Neutral air didn't quite do it here on the Great Hall. D-Light recovery drop from iThrow.
Still able to pick up the side air onto Santy to maintain the lead. Meanwhile, Pugsyxd did fall. It's on iThrow this time for the Canadians to extend the stocks. Doesn't quite hit the ground pound onto Simba. Would have been massive threat if he had hit it, though.
Ooh, Simba doesn't drop the D-Light recovery, but it's not enough. We're here on the Great Hall with 4 sword characters. Why would you pick this map when it's going to take so much longer for D-Light recovery to KO?
High ceiling on the Great Hall. Meanwhile, Pugsyxd with the axe can go for the horizontal plays, the neutral light and the side air. And Simba down to the final stock in the 2v2s. This was far from expected as Santy and Simba are in their final stocks and iThrow is dominating.
So I believe in Santy and Simba's supremacy. I would have expected them to come out of the gate and win this one 2-0. They lose game 1. So then I would have said, okay, well, that's just game 1. You know how game 1s can be. Yeah, then when they lost game 2, I would have been like, okay, that's game 2. They're going to come back. That's the wake-up
He's not on
call.
his main. It's okay.
Yeah, coming in with the double Val here. And then you see the lead, 4 stocks to 2. So many unexpected things from iThrow and Pugsyxd. And here we are in game 3, possibly staring at a 3-0. Man, I would have not seen it.
What an upset, and that would be huge for the Canadians because they get to go into the tiebreaker where we saw Cosolix do really well against Sandstorm just a moment ago in the crew battles. This would be huge for the Canadians. D-Light Darren goes for the follow-up, but not quite in position. Santy is in trouble. You saw how high he got launched in the red. Final stocks here.
You have the 2 hard hitters as well. The axe from Pugsyxd, the hammer from iThrow. Signature hits on stage. Such a massive lead still for Team Canada. Neutral 6 coming out from Simba. Not going to be enough to KO on this high ceiling map. Oh, a little bit too late.
Ooh. Oh, Santy's out. It's all left to Simba. There's 4 stocks left on the Canadians, and Cosolix has got to be warming up that lance because we are likely to see a tiebreaker. This either just pulls out a bow.
I don't know. That had to be a misinput, right? Because he did it so close, and he also like pulled out of it as soon as he could. Or he could just be trolling. Who knows? Weapon toss goes down. That's a burn dodge. Pugsyxd's not actually able to punish it in time. Threw out a neutral light, but Simba was too far away from it. A little bit too high, a little bit too much to the right for that neutral light to pick up as the punish.
Oh. And that will do it. The Canadians
I can't believe
winning out in 2v2. This is Santy and Simba. They beat Boomy and Sandstorm. They've won a tournament.
I can't believe. And those are healthy numbers coming out from iThrow and Pugsyxd. 589 damage, 619 damage. Very solid from Team Canada. I would not be surprised if iThrow and Pugsyxd are the 2v2 team going forward permanently.
Work into the gauntlets from Sandstorm. Obviously a really strong gauntlet player with that Mordex, but he still has great cannon plays. He's definitely played this Onyx before, and he also played the Zol previously.
Yep, he's won tournaments, I believe, with both characters. Definitely did with Zol. I can't remember if he won a tournament with Onyx, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did whatsoever. Now going into this one, starting to struggle just a little bit. Does find the D-Light side light. Doesn't push it any more off stage.
There is going to be a bit of a growing period here for Sandstorm, considering gauntlets are a string weapon. He needs to see how Cosolix is going to react out of these options so that he can start going for those bigger and bigger reads as he makes the swap over to the cannon to try to punish this lance of Cosolix. Damage so far fairly even. Remember, this is a best of 3, so it's going to be quick. It's going to be hard to afford a game loss.
Sidelight into the neutral air for the KO option. Sandstorm was a little bit behind in the damage up until about orange. Then he actually got the cannon in his hand, and that was sort of his best option. He was floating around with the gauntlets and getting caught by so many Lance neutral airs. Just wasn't really a successful option. He was losing the damage trade between those two. Now that he has the cannon in hand, it was looking a little bit better. He tosses it away, and the dodge comes through from Cosolix, so he was unarmed. Now has the cannon.
Weapon toss, but lots of horizontal options here. Sandstorm still has the movement. Yeah, Cosolix didn't want to threaten, so Sandstorm's going to get back up safely. Big string goes for the SIG, and Cosolix from deep hits the recovery for the knockout.
Cosolix, he's different today. This is a different Cosolix than we saw yesterday.
He is fired up today. He wants to win this out for the Canadians and get that big upset over the top-seeded team.
Ooh, he dodged back in. Cosolix was ready with the neutral light, the 2 pokes. A lot of active frames on that one. This time he goes for the side light, doesn't immediately go for anything, then goes for the nair, a little bit delayed. Hoping he could get the dodge out and then continue the string.
Dare goes for the N-Sig read. Nair's going to put Cosolix in a very scary position, but Sandstorm not even threatening for the unarmed. Sometimes he'll go down there, go for that gravity cancel side light or the gravity cancel D-light ground pound, but instead opted for the safer option.
I'm a little bit surprised he didn't try to edge guard there because the dodge was gone. That recovery was sort of Cosolix's last option. His character was really great out. I think you saw the sweat droplets coming out. And it might have allowed Cosolix to then take the lead here when he was behind on this second stock.
But Sandstorm is going to clean it up with a D-Light, gravity cancel, neutral, heavy. Final stocks here in game number 1 would give their team the lead in this tiebreaker. Sandstorm trying to deny weapons, does steal out the cannon. Hasn't added any damage despite the weapon advantage, though.
Now he's finding some of it playing around the weapon spawn. Didn't throw it away immediately. He did eventually throw his cannon away, but that was sort of right as Cosolix picked up the lance. So he wasn't at a weapon disadvantage for too long. Now it's going to be the gauntlets. Much of this game has been played on the back of the cannon.
Sidelight recovery. Went for a little extra there, but Cosolix avoided it. Punish. Oh, doesn't hit the neutral light.
Oh my goodness.
This is big. Misses the ground pound. Sandstorm goes up. The nair actually dissuades Sandstorm. Both of them close. Just a raw SIG on the back of Cosolix. Sandstorm with the weapon and stage advantage is going to take game number 1.
What an extremely close game. You can see the numbers right there. It was like 568 to 526 between those two. So close. And the Demon Island immediately getting banned. We are not going to be going to that map. Small Brawlhaven, Small Mammoth, and APOC were left in it, but we're going to Small Brawlhaven.
I don't think any of the maps really lean one player or the other. Like, they both basically benefit in the same ways against all these maps. And on Small Brawlhaven, the way they benefit is that all of the high defense that both these legends have kind of gets negated because of the close kill boxes. The right air read and Cosolix gets a stock, though.
Man, Cosolix was untouched until that dare just hit him. How long was that? Let me look at the timer. He was about 20 seconds into this game without being touched, and he put out 100 damage.
You're seeing a confident Cosolix come out here, going for those slide charged neutral signatures, something uncharacteristic of him. Oh! That's not quite enough there onto Cosolix. He didn't take too much damage before that, but the side light side air, and Sandstorm going to lose the first stock. Nice neutral sig, still not enough.
Man,
good dodge from
too.
Cosolix.
You saw Boomy hitting those off stage so well yesterday. You saw the last one on the Demon Island that almost led to the kill when Cosolix was like still orange. He then found the follow-up after for the KO with the side air. Axe coming out looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, some good movement from Cosolix, baiting out some moves from Sandstorm, as Sandstorm really wants this knockout. But now it's Cosolix back to the lance, the historied weapon of the Canadian. D-Light recovery. Oh, weapon pickup recovery for the added force of the gauntlets over the unarmed. All right, Sandstorm.
That was kind of nasty. I like that one.
That was clean. Still, though, behind, neutral sig comes out. Sandstorm not able to punish.
All right, Cosolix definitely really confident going in with that slide charge neutral signature, but I'm still down with it. He's playing incredible today. I don't know if it was the little scuffle between Boomy and Cosolix yesterday that woke him up, but man, this is some juicy Cosolix play.
That Pro Series beef really heating up, but Cosolix is doing great against the current North American world champion, the world champion in Brawlhalla. D-Light Nair from Sandstorm puts him up, but it's still not enough to lead to the knockout.
Almost had that side air. The iframes from Sandstorm's dodge were still in play. Oh! Completely wins priority there with the unarmed side heavy. Looking for these KO moves.
Okay, Sandstorm does get the hit. Gonna just wait for the weapon spawn on that one, and he's gonna be sticking with the cannon, but he's in the red. Big Sair. We're going to final stocks again in the best of 3. Cosolix winning this one would take it to the final game in this best of 3 tiebreaker. If Sandstorm wins it, then it goes to the Northeast as he goes for the big cannon string.
That's the crazy thing about best of 3 is I feel like these two players haven't fought this competitive of a best of 3 in a very long time since we changed to doing best of 5s and so much more of the bracket. Like, you're playing best of 3s against, like, the people in pools rather than the best players in the game. So that's got to be a complete change from what they're used to.
Yeah, they just got to come out of the gate swinging. Sandstorm with the damage advantage has Cosolix in the offstage. D-Light Nair, another one of those, and that could be the Northeast victory.
Oh, gets away from that one. Oh, the D-Light Nair. That's going to be the KO option. You know he was looking for it. I remember sitting next to Sandstorm. I can't remember which tournament, but I was sitting next to him in the audience, and he was watching someone play Cannon, and they were getting into the red, or their opponent was getting into the red, and he was sitting there saying, just D-Light him. Just D-Light him. Over and over, just D-Light him. So you know when his opponent procs red, he's looking for the D-Light so he can follow up with the Nair, or if he's playing a character like Onyx, he's more than happy to hit that signature kit because it's so good.
And off of that D-Light Nair, Sandstorm is going to get the match victory for the Northeast, and they're going to close out the weekend up 2 over everyone else.